So far, we've talked about the dry and complex ideas of magic. Now we will start discussing spells and reveal amazing secrets. The pentagram symbolizes the control of the mind over nature, allowing us to command the spirits of air, fire, water, and earth. With this symbol and the right preparation, you can see beyond the ordinary using your inner vision, and you can have angels and demons at your service. First, let's outline some important points. There is no hidden world. Instead, there are different levels of understanding in various systems. The physical world and its images are just a temporary cover for the soul. The soul can perceive things by itself, without needing our physical senses, through its own sensitivity. It can see both spiritual and physical things in the universe. The terms spiritual and physical simply describe how refined or dense something is. Our imagination is just the soul's ability to absorb images and reflections from the living light, which is a powerful force. These images become clear when science helps us understand them. A genius creates ideas that are close to the truth, while a dreamer or madman creates distorted images. For wise people, imagining is like seeing, and for magicians, speaking is like creating. We can truly see spirits and other beings through our imagination. However, an adept's imagination is clear, while an ordinary person's is clouded. The truth shines through the adept like light through a clear window, while it gets distorted for others. People often make mistakes because of their muddled imagination. But a true seer knows that their visions are real, and their experiences confirm what they see. We will explain in the ritual how to gain this clarity. This light allows certain visionaries to connect with different realms, like Emanuel Swedenborg, who sometimes struggled to tell the difference between real visions and mere daydreams. We talk about dreams because they come from a natural state called sleep, which is a kind of ecstasy. When you're in ecstasy, you're dreaming. Magnetic sleepwalking is a similar experience. Mistakes during this sleepwalking happen because of the thoughts of awake people, and even more due to hypnotism. Dreams are visions created by the bending of rays of truth, while daydreams are just illusions caused by reflections. The story of Saint Anthony, filled with nightmares and monsters, shows the confusion between these reflections and direct truths. As long as the soul is fighting, it stays rational, but when it gives in to these confusing thoughts, it becomes unbalanced. Separating the true light from reflections is the job of someone who is initiated in this knowledge. This work has always been done by a few special individuals. Intuitive revelations are ongoing, and there are no real barriers that keep souls apart. Nature is continuous and fluid, and if we believe humans can improve indefinitely, then anyone can learn to understand everything, at least within a certain range they can expand. There are no empty spaces in nature. Everything is alive. For example, when Napoleon pointed out a star and Cardinal Fesch couldn't see it, Napoleon could. This shows that great people often see what others cannot, which is why they are sometimes considered superstitious. Genius people are different from ordinary seers because they can help others feel what they themselves see, making them believe through enthusiasm and connection. They act as channels for divine expression. Now let's discuss how this works. Every form corresponds to an idea, and every idea has its unique form. The original light, which carries all ideas, is the source of all forms and passes them from one level to another. They may become weaker or change due to the density of their surroundings. The secondary forms are reflections that return to the source of the original light. The shapes of objects are changes in light and remain connected to the light that reflects them. The astral light, which we call the great magical agent, is filled with images and reflections of all kinds that the soul can bring forth and focus on, as the Kabbalists say. These images are always within us, but they can be overshadowed by the stronger reality of our waking life or by our busy thoughts, which make us less aware of the changing scenes in the astral light. When we sleep, this display becomes visible to us, leading to daydreams. These daydreams can be unclear and confusing unless a strong will is active during sleep, guiding the daydream and turning it into a dream. Animal magnetism is like a kind of artificial sleep created when two souls connect, either willingly or forcefully. One soul stays awake while the other sleeps, guiding the sleeping soul's thoughts to turn daydreams into dreams and reveal truths through images. Somnambulists, people in a sleepwalking state, do not actually go to the places the hypnotist directs them to. Instead, they bring forth images from the astral light and can only see what exists there. The astral light affects the nerves, which carry it to the brain, and during somnambulism, we can perceive with our nerves without needing bright light, since the astral fluid is a hidden light, similar to how scientists recognize latent heat. Hypnotism involving two people is an amazing discovery, but hypnotism with one person who can become aware and direct themselves is the highest form of magical practice. This secret is not lost and was known to many initiates, especially Apollonius of Tyana, who left behind a theory that we will explore in our ritual. The key to being hypnotically aware and understanding magnetic phenomena involves two parts: the harmony of minds and the perfect unity of wills directed by science. This applies to hypnotism with multiple participants. Solitary hypnotism needs special preparations, which we discussed in the first chapter, detailing the qualities needed to be a true adept. We will further explain this important point in the following chapters. The power of will over the astral light, which is the essence of the four elements, is symbolized in magic by the pentagram, which we placed at the beginning of this chapter. By using this symbol wisely, we can also control the elemental spirits, making them obedient or binding them, as it is called in magic. Let's explain this amazing idea simply. All created spirits communicate with each other through signs and agree on certain truths represented by specific forms. The better the forms are, the more the spirits can detach from physical matter. Those spirits that are not held back by physical bonds can easily tell if a sign represents real power or just a careless wish. A wise person's understanding gives strength to their pentagram, just like their knowledge gives power to their will, and the spirits recognize this power right away. With the pentagram, we can summon spirits to appear in our dreams, whether we are awake or asleep, by showing their reflection from the astral light. This reflection exists if the spirit ever existed, or resembles their spiritual essence if they never lived on earth. This explains visions and why the dead appear to seers as they were in life or as they are in their graves, but never in a state beyond our understanding. Pregnant women are especially influenced by the astral light, which helps shape their child and constantly reminds them of various forms. Because of this, virtuous women can sometimes mislead those with bad intentions by imprinting an image in their mind from a dream, causing similar facial features to be passed down through generations. Using the Kabbalistic pentagram can even influence the appearance of an unborn child. An initiated woman could give her child the traits of famous figures like Nero, Achilles, Louis XIV, or Napoleon. We will explain how this is done in the ritual. The pentagram is known in the Kabbalah as the sign of the microcosm, and its power is celebrated by Goethe in a beautiful monologue in Faust. Ah, how all my senses trembled at the sight. I feel the youth and holy joy of life overflowing in my nerves and in my veins. Was he a god, the being who traced that sign which calmed my giddy soul, filled my poor heart with joy, and in a mysterious rush, revealed the forces of nature around me? Am I a god? All has become so clear to me. I see in these simple lines the energy of nature revealing itself in my soul. Now for the first time I recognize the truth in the words of the sage. The world of the spirits is not closed. Your meaning is obtuse. Your heart is dead. Rise. Bathe, O adept of science, with your breast, still enveloped in a terrestrial veil. Bathe in the splendors of the breaking day. On July 24th, 1854, the author of this book, Eliphas Lévi, performed an experiment using a pentagram in London. He prepared himself by following all the rituals outlined in the ritual. The success of this experiment, which we'll discuss in detail in Chapter 13 of both the doctrine and the ritual, has introduced a new fact that true scientists will recognize. The experiment was repeated 3 times and produced truly remarkable results without any hallucinations. We encourage skeptics to try it themselves with careful consideration before dismissing it. The pentagram used in this experiment is the one shown at the beginning of this chapter, which we cannot find in its entirety in the Keys of Solomon or the magical calendars of Tycho Brahe and Duchinto. It is important to note that using the pentagram can be very dangerous for those who lack complete knowledge. The direction of the points of the star is not random and can change the outcome of the entire process. As we will explain in the ritual, Paracelsus, a groundbreaking figure in magic, claimed that all magical symbols and Kabbalistic signs that spirits follow can be summed up by two main signs: the sign of the macrocosm or the seal of Solomon, which we will show here. The sign of the microcosm is even more powerful than the first one, which is the pentagram. Paracelsus provides a detailed description of it in his teachings. If someone wonders how a sign can hold so much power over spirits, we can ask why the Christian world bows down to the sign of the cross. A sign alone has no power. It gains strength from the beliefs and teachings it represents. However, a sign that captures and expresses all the hidden powers of nature, one that has always shown a greater power to elementary spirits and others, will naturally command their respect and fear, forcing them to obey because of the knowledge and will it represents over ignorance and weakness. The pentagram is also used to measure the precise proportions needed for the athanor, the essential vessel for creating the philosopher's stone and completing the great work. The most effective alembic, a distilling apparatus that can produce the quintessence, is based on this shape, and the quintessence itself is represented by the pentagram. Now let's explain and honor the special and mysterious pentagram. Those who are unaware or overly superstitious may want to stop reading here, as they will only see confusion or be upset. The pentagram, which we call the flaming star in certain teachings, is a symbol of great power and control of the mind. It is the star of magicians. It represents the word made real. Depending on how its points are directed, this powerful symbol in magic can show good or evil, harmony or chaos, the blessed lamb or the cursed goat. It can symbolize initiation or disrespect, light or darkness, and victory or defeat. When the pentagram has 2 points facing up, it stands for Satan or the goat of the Sabbath, while 1 point up represents the Savior. The pentagram also resembles a human figure, with 4 arms and 1 point for the head. A figure upside down represents chaos or madness. If magic is real, and if hidden knowledge is the true law of the universe, this ancient symbol must have a powerful effect on spirits that have been freed from their physical forms. The pentagram is also known as the sign of the microcosm, reflecting what certain teachings call the microprosopis. Understanding the pentagram fully is key to both worlds. It represents philosophy and true natural science. The pentagram should be made with 7 metals, or at least drawn with pure gold on white marble. It can also be drawn with red on the skin of a perfect lamb, symbolizing purity and light. The marble should be new, never used for anything else, and the lamb's skin must be prepared under the sun. The lamb should be sacrificed during Easter with a new knife, and its skin must be treated with salt that has been blessed through special rituals. If any of these steps are not followed, even if they seem complicated, it could ruin any important scientific work. To bless the pentagram, you use the 4 elements. First, you breathe on the pentagram 5 times. Then you sprinkle it with holy water and dry it with the smoke of 5 different scents: incense, myrrh, aloe, sulfur, and camphor. You can also add a little white resin and ambergris. After that, you blow on it 5 times while saying the names of 5 spirits: Gabriel, Raphael, Anael, Samael, and Oryphiel. Next, you place the pentagram on the ground facing north, then south, east, west, and finally towards the center of the cross. You say each letter of the sacred name tetragrammaton one by one. Then, quietly say the blessed names of Aleph and the mysterious Tau, which together form the name Azoth. The pentagram should be on the incense altar and under the tripod used for calling spirits. The person using it should also wear the pentagram and a 6-pointed star, which is made of 2 triangles crossed over each other. When calling a spirit of light, 1 point of the star should face the tripod, while the 2 lower points face the incense altar. If calling a spirit of darkness, do the opposite, but make sure to hold the wand or sword above the pentagram. We've mentioned that signs are a powerful expression of will. Your will must be strong to turn thoughts into actions, and any doubt or carelessness can ruin the whole process, making your efforts ineffective and turning against you. So it's important to follow magical practices carefully, or not at all. Drawing the pentagram with glowing lines on glass using electricity can also have a strong effect on spirits and scare away ghosts. Ancient magicians would draw the pentagram on their doorsteps to keep evil spirits out and protect good spirits. The direction the points of the star face matters. 2 points outward repel evil spirits, 2 points inward trap them, and 1 point inward captures good spirits. All these magical ideas, based on Hermes's teachings and scientific principles, have been supported by visions and experiences of people believed to be possessed by spirits. The G that Freemasons place in the center of the flaming star stands for gnosis, knowledge, and generation creation, two important words from ancient teachings. It also refers to the Grand Architect, as the pentagram can be seen as an A from different angles. When the pentagram is arranged with 2 points facing up and 1 point down, it resembles the horns, ears, and beard of the goat of Mendes, becoming a symbol for dark rituals. The star used by magicians is the same as the mysterious pentagram. The 3 kings, followers of Zoroaster, were guided by the flaming star to the birthplace of the small god. 1 king is white, another is black, and the third is brown. The white king brings gold, a symbol of life and light. The black king brings myrrh, a sign of death and darkness. And the brown king offers frankincense, representing the divine nature that connects both life and death. They return home by a different path, showing that a new belief is just another way to lead people to one true religion, symbolized by the sacred ternary and the shining pentagram, which represents eternal unity. In the book of Revelation, St. John sees this same star fall from the sky to earth, calling it wormwood or bitterness, which makes the waters bitter. This symbolizes how the teachings can lead to fanaticism and conflict. We can relate this to Isaiah's words about how a brilliant star fell from heaven. Even though the pentagram has been misused by people, it still shines brightly in the hands of the true bearer of truth, who has promised the morning star, representing the restored image of Lucifer. All the mysteries of magic, symbols of knowledge, and keys to prophecies are captured in the pentagram, which Paracelsus calls the greatest and most powerful sign. So it's no wonder that magicians have confidence in this sign and its real power over spirits. Those who don't understand the cross may fear the pentagram, but a true magician, when feeling weak, can look at the symbol, hold it in their right hand, and feel empowered, as long as they are worthy and know how to use their tools, like the pentacle, cup, wand, and sword. They must also maintain a strong focus, as represented by the 2 open eyes at the top of the pentagram.